And that right there is it, guys. The OEM switch is installed just like our LED bar one down here. Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the Taco Rick channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to install an OEM style switch in your Toyota Tacoma. So as you guys might have seen in the last video, I installed rock lights on my truck. Now obviously you can't see them because it's daytime, but I have rock lights on the Tacoma, and right now there's just this jank little switch on the inside that controls it. This switch right here, it just turns on, turns off, turns on, turns off, and it just lays here because I didn't want to drill and make this jank little switch be a switch on my dash because it looks like shit. And for reference, these are the lights that it controls. I got two of these underneath of each one of my rim wells. So instead of that jank switch, I want to install something OEM looking. So right here is an OEM style switch, and this one actually in particular comes from Mike Tuning. This is the switch right here, and it's named Zombie Lights. I thought that'd be pretty funny to call my rock lights zombie lights. So I have the switch right here, and what's cool about this switch is it's an OEM style switch, so it looks just like the OEM switches that you find on your dash right here. And actually I've already done this in one video already. I installed one for my LED bar, and it's the same process as the one I did for my LED bar. So if I want to turn my LED bar on, it's this switch right here. It looks like just the normal OEM style switches, and it fits right into this slot, and it controls my LED bar. I do have one blank right here, which for you guys that have the 360 cams on your Tacoma, this is where that button would normally be. But in my truck, I don't have that, so I have a blank right here. So what we're gonna be doing is popping that blank out and popping in our zombie light switch right here. So for today's video, I'm gonna be showing you guys how you replace that jank switch with an OEM switch, and this applies to any sort of lighting that you install on your vehicle that you run the wiring back into the truck so that you can turn the power basically on and off to that light. Let's first go through all the stuff that you're gonna need to do this little install right here. Let's go through how this works, what all these wire colors mean and everything, and then let's get to the install. So in the garage here, I have all the tools that you're gonna need in front of me right here. So one, we're gonna need a socket set to remove the bolts that hold the lower dash in place so that we can get to behind it so that we can replace the switch. A drill can be helpful to take those screws out a little bit quicker, not necessary, but we have 3 bolts basically that we need to remove. So a socket set will work perfectly fine, but a drill might speed up the process a little bit. Obviously, we need the switch right here. Now, I told you guys I got this off of Mike Tuning. You can actually buy these switches on Amazon, so I'm gonna link a few options down below. One thing to keep in mind, on the 2016 and up Tacomas, there are 2 size switches. There's this taller one right here that I've used for my LED bar, so I will link the taller ones down below. But there's also these kind of more square style ones, which are found up here, which are found here. And if you guys don't have like blind spot monitoring and parking sensors, you'll have some blanks right here as well that you can use. I obviously am not going to be mounting to these switches right here, but it is a similar process to basically remove this and install the switch as well. I'm just not going to be going through that in this video because we're going to be accessing these switches right here. Also, if you guys didn't know and you guys are just looking at this going, what the heck is this? This is my trailer brake controller. It's a P3, and it is how I control the brakes to my trailer when I tow my trailer. But back to the tools that you're gonna need. We're gonna need some wire strippers. Yes, we're gonna need possibly a utility knife, but you could probably get away with just a pair of snips, which are actually built into my wire strippers right here, but you get the point. I am going to be doing soldering, so we're going to need a soldering iron. We're going to need some soldering. I'm going to solder my connections together. You can obviously use wire nuts if you prefer that method. I'm going to go the soldering route, so I got solder, got a soldering iron, and a variety of heat shrink wrap as well. I'll link all this in the description down below so that you guys know everything that you need, and also where you can buy some of this stuff if you don't already have it. So the goal here is to get behind the dash, so we need to get behind this area right here. So first step, we're going to remove the mat. Pretty easy. Next thing we gotta do is remove this bottom plastic piece right here, and this is actually really easy to take off with just your hands. You just basically need to get below it and pry up, and this whole piece will pry up. Might get snagged right there. All the clips are taken off. You can see down there is the wiring harness. The next thing we need to remove is this little kicker panel right here. And the whole reason why we're moving these panels, one, because this panel is the first piece because it clips into the top of the kicker panel. And the reason why we need to remove this kicker panel right here is because one of the 3 bolts is behind this kicker panel. The other 2 are actually right here and right here. Very easy to get to, but the one that you can't get to is right over here. So to remove the kicker panel, oh, little side note, I actually have cracked my kicker panel over the time period that I have owned this truck, which is not long, and it's mainly from doing this right here, removing it. So be very careful, because there is a clip behind here, and if you're not careful, you can accidentally crack your kicker panel, because this clip is a little bit stubborn. But there is a plastic nut back here, so what we need to do is remove this nut. So just get back here and twist it off. It just twists counterclockwise. It just screws off like a normal screw would be, but it's a foam plastic screw. So you can see right there, taking it off. All right, now that we have the plastic nut removed, we need to remove the panel. Now this is where I've cracked this over the time. The direction you need to pull, so you're gonna put one hand below, one hand on top. You need to pull towards the seat. So you need to pull towards your steering wheel on like a little bit of a 45-degree angle. Don't pull straight back, that's how you will crack this. So we're gonna pull out that way, and that is what releases that clip right there, which is what I have cracked over the years. So like I said, it's on an angle. As you can see right there, it's on an angle, so you need to pull this way. So I'll show you guys one more time right here, but basically when this panel is up in here like this, you need to pull this way. So pull it out, and that is how you remove it. So with the kicker panel removed, we can see the bolt we need to remove, which is right there. And then there are two more right here and right here. So these are the next screws that we're gonna be removing. All right, to remove all of these screws, it is just a 10 mil, or these bolts, I guess, is a 10 millimeter socket. So I got a 10 millimeter on my impact right here. Gonna make this quick and easy to remove all these. There's one and three. So with all those removed, now we can actually pry this panel out. And the way you wanna do that is kind of from grabbing on the lower end. So we're gonna grab on the lower end and pull out. There's some clips that you're gonna break loose. I'm just kind of pulling on this around, and it's gonna free up a nice little gap here on the side that you can pull out on, and that'll allow you to pull this down as well from the top. And there's one more over there. So there you go. And on the back side right here, you can see where I soldered in the last switch, which is right here. This is the other OEM switch, is the one going to my light bar. And you'll notice that I didn't solder everything. So I soldered in the hard connections that come from the actual light bar itself. So this is the light bar harness right here. This is where I chopped off that jank looking switch that we're going to do on the rock lights, and I soldered in my connections right here. But on this one, as you can see right there, this is the power cable that I tapped into to power the light. As you can see, as soon as I pulled that off, it came apart, and that's because I didn't solder it. So what we're going to be doing this time when I tap in this switch is we're going to solder it into place. So this is one reason why you use solder over wire nuts, is because solder is way more permanent in my opinion. So anyways, what we're gonna be doing is popping out this blank right here. So to pop out the blank that is right here, all we need to do is go on the back side. So what we're gonna do is just squeeze these two connectors, and it will pop, literally pop the blank right out. Right here's the blank, squeeze those two, and the blank pops out very easily. So now all we do is just slide in our new OEM switch, and we do the wiring. So let me show you the easy step first, and that is putting the switch into the slot. So it's as simple as putting the switch into the slot, and it will clip into place, and then you got a switch. On, off, on, off. Very easy. It literally just clamps in just the same way that the blank clamped in. It's got two clamps on the sides, and it clamps into place, and there you go. You have your OEM style looking switch ready to go. Now, the hard part, wiring. So as you can see, I've already gone ahead and stripped off of the wires, and I've gone ahead and slid heat shrink down each one of the four connectors right here. So now let me explain to you how the wiring is going to go here. Coming from the rock lights wiring harness right here, I've already cut this off. Black is our ground, white is our input, and red is our output to power the light. So we flip the power on to the red wire. So connecting these to the wiring harness right here, we have three wires that we're going to be using. So our black wire is our ground, so we're going to go black to black. Then on the other side of the wiring harness, we have a green and a red. The green is our in power, so this is going to go to our white wire. And then we have red 1. Red 1 is right beside the green wire, right beside the green wire. Red 1 is going to connect to our rock lights. Alright, so with the soldered connections done, I have not actually melted the heat shrink wrap yet. Just kind of loosely put it on there because I wanted to connect it to the switch right here, so I connected it. And if I push this switch, it should light up. There we go. Zombie lights activated. So our switch is all good and working now. Now all we have to do is tie in this extra light, or this extra cable right here, to our wiring for our dash lights, which I need to redo anyways for the other ones. So that is the next step I'm going to be working on, is getting that done, and then we'll be able to button this all up. So I have completed the dash light wiring right here. So now I'm gonna go ahead and heat shrink wrap, basically melt the heat shrink on all these and get all the wiring finished up, make sure everything works, and then put it all back together. All right, all the heat shrink wrap is now melted and good to go. Well, melted, you know, shrunk so that it's secure around the wires. All the wires are good. So now I'm gonna kind of just roughly put this up into place, not actually put it there, but I want to test out the functionality of these lights. So first off, we can make sure that it works by just pushing on the light. We can see that the light turns on right there. I can verify to you guys that the lights are on as well. My light bar one works as well, but we want to make sure that the dash lights work. So I'm going to turn on my dash lights real quick. So I should be able to just turn this to parking lights, and there you go. So those are the dash lights. It lights up zombie lights, it lights up LED bar, and then when you turn it on, the actual truck lights up there, and the little hazard symbol on this one lights up. So there you go, dash lights are on, and you can see that light nice and clear. Zombie lights, click it, and then the hazard light turns on as well. So we got rid of this jank switch right here and put in our OEM switch right there. Really dope. So with that all buttoned up, everything's good to go. We can put our whole dash back in. So what I'm gonna do is just lift it up into place and align the top holes right here. These little red clips go into those slots right there. Clip them into place. Over here, gonna go ahead and put this upper one in as well. Then we should be able to just work our way down and push in the clips as we go. It is a little bit tricky around the airbag, get it up in, but a little bit of persuasion and the clips will go right in. So now all we gotta do is put in our bolts with our 10mm socket. One right over here, make sure it's aligned right. And there we go. That was in. And our final one over here on the left. Now we're gonna go ahead and reinstall our kicker panel here on the right, or the left, I guess. Your left, my left. I don't know why I was thinking right. Slide it up in, make sure our cords are tucked in behind there. Clip it in. Going to reinstall the thumb screw back here. And then we're gonna reinstall the bottom panel here. It just pushes into place very simply. And that's it. All I got left is to clean up this mess and put the floor mat back in. And that right there is it, guys. The OEM switch is installed just like our LED bar one down here. Nice, clean, and OEM. There you guys go. That's how you do it. That's how it's done. So that is it for showing you guys how to install an OEM switch in your Toyota Tacoma. Same things apply to pretty much any truck. They have, normally most trucks have blank switches available for you to do stuff like that. I know, like in a lot of the Fords, they actually have switches up top that are customizable. The switches are already there so that you can wire into them to do whatever you want, which is really dope and really cool for adding things like lights, pod lights, off-road lights, rock lights, you name it, anything that you need to power a winch, etc. If you guys enjoyed this video, if you could help me out, hit the like button, leave a comment down below what you guys thought of this video, if it was helpful. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to ask them in the comment section down below, or hit me up on Instagram at DJ Rick Webb. I'm a DJ, I have a DJ channel if you didn't know. That's all for this video. Hit the subscribe button, turn on post notifications. We're trying to hit 10,000 subscribers, and I'll see you guys next time. Taco Rick out. Peace.